I got ghosted by a company 2 years ago and they emailed me today saying I should report to work on Monday.
2 years ago I applied for a job there, went through the whole interview process, and was finally offered the job, verbally, and told I would receive the formal offer in a day or two. I was ecstatic at the time being unemployed and all but 2 days went by with nothing. I tried emailing and calling but got no reply. Fast forward to today, I get an email from them with that official job offer asking me to report to work on Monday like nothing happened. Sorry about the late update, thought about doing this yesterday, but decided doing it this morning would reduce the wait time for the big payoff. So I turned up for work yesterday. The plan was to get there early and be as discreet as possible like I've been there forever, and see how long it would take them to notice like some of you suggested. Unfortunately, that wasn't in the cards. Despite heading out 2 hours before opening, the traffic yesterday was the worst I've seen in a month and my 1-hour commute became 3 hours. After turning up an hour late, I walk in casually and say hello to everyone I pass on the way to the IT department. Everyone looks at me when I step in, and I silently walk to an empty station and just sat down without saying anything. I hear them whispering behind my back before someone comes up to me and asks who I am. I look at him as naturally as possible and say, "Geez, Dave, I know I've been on vacation for a while now, but did you forget me already? How's the kids?" He looks at me bewildered. I continue to make eye contact while hiding my embarrassment. He walks away and the whispering starts again as I sit and stare at them, casually waving at whoever occasionally looks my way. In retrospect, I should have said I'd been working remote all this time, might have worked better. After about 10 minutes, security came to detain me. I explained I was told to report to work today. There's a pretty tense back and forth since I was trying to avoid being tossed. They eventually call HR, but no one has any memory of interviewing me. The guards start getting agitated, but another call from HR comes in. They confirm I was called in, but it was by an intern. Guards are told to bring me to the conference room. I get to the conference room untased and begin playing on my phone, while waiting and intermittently trying to make some small talk with Sam the guard, but he isn't very receptive. After about 15 minutes, some big wigs come in along with the intern from HR, and I get the explanation. After I was offered the job, HR found a more suitable candidate, read as lower salary, and the head of HR at the time decided since I wasn't extended the official offer yet, it was easier to just ghost me. However, since I was to be brought on board, my details were already added to a list of pending candidates, and there it remained. Fast forward to last weekend, our HR intern is going through the talent pool and sending out offers. She spies my name as a pending sys. Admin, the current sys. Admin was leaving in a week and she thought she'd show some initiative and save the company the long recruitment process by reaching out to me. With all that cleared, they asked if I still wanted the job, seeing as I actually turned up. I declined, saying I've transitioned to data science, so taking the job would be going backwards. They looked shocked. It turns out they'd been trying to recruit a data analyst for a while, but it wasn't going well, but here I was standing right there. The sales pitch started, and one impromptu interview later, we worked out a deal, and they told me to expect the official offer the following evening, today. Now I'll just have to see if I'll get that offer today or in another 2 years, place your bets. TLDR, HR ghosted me for a cheaper candidate, and in turn found my details saved in the company talent pool and reached out to me on her own, supposed to receive another offer today. Update: I got rejected, LOL. I wonder if they used me as leverage to seduce the other guy.
My boss keeps our credit card tips and puts them towards their sales.
I work at a local shop in Colorado and was very excited to start. The schedule was flexible, weekends off, clean establishment, etc. During the interview, I was told how much I was going to make hourly plus tips, except that she didn't specify that we are only allowed to take cash tips, and it didn't occur to ask because who does that? I found out after I received my first check. I asked her about it and she said that it's because she pays more than minimum wage, and we should be thankful, and that I'm the only one complaining about not getting tips. The other 2 employees are 2 teenage girls that are extremely shy. Maybe that's why they don't speak up. I put in my 2 weeks and now I'm being treated like shit and micromanaged. I might walk out. Edit: I quit. She said she'd let me keep the credit card tips as long as I agree to take a $2 cut. Yeah, no. Bye. Edit 2: I've thought about it and I am going to report it. I have messaged a couple of you back with the name of the place. Y'all are right, we need to stand up for what's right. Edit 3. One of the shy teenagers found the post, texted me saying I was immature for crying over credit card tips, and that she didn't appreciate being mentioned in the post. I guess some people don't need money. Edit 4. Holy fuck. So, the owners got involved. I'm receiving texts from family members of theirs trying to make me feel bad for what I did. Let's set something straight. Yes, I did ask her for money to pay my rent. We agreed on bi-weekly payments, which I never missed. I asked her for the loan before I found out about the credit card tips, so I felt obligated to stay until I finished paying her back. During the time I was there, I never got off at the time I was supposed to because my boss thought she was entitled to my time as well. Even on my birthday, I had to text her to see if she was on her way because my mother was waiting for me to go have lunch with her. After I called her out on the tips situation, she got super defensive and started being super petty and trying to micromanage me. When my son was in the ER, I called to let her know I wasn't going to be able to work. She got mad and hung up. Didn't even ask how my son was doing. I'm receiving threats from people who work there like I did something wrong, and they're using my personal family issues against me. Last edit. A complaint has been submitted. Thank you all for the support. And to those who don't believe the story, I don't blame you. It sounds straight out of a telenovela. I honestly made the post without naming anyone just to send her the link, that way she can see how wrong she is and how many people agree with me. But instead she decided to blackmail me, so here we are. I don't know what will happen, but I'm sure I'll be making another post about it.
I got disciplined by my boss for bringing a hot water bottle to work.
I, 28F, got my first verbal warning from my boss. So I suffer from horrific periods, they are just body obliterating every time. So it was brought to my attention that each month I take a day or two off to curl up in a corner and die. Which obviously is not great. So, one morning I decided to compromise. I have a desk job in the back room of a retailer. No customer talks to me unless on the phone, and all my other colleagues are dudes, so once every 2 hours I head down with my hot water bottle and fill it up, also making coffees for everyone upstairs because they have had to put up with my cramped groans and slight sobs. I wish I was joking. So the third time I go down, the boss comes down and says, "Do you really think you're being a team player right now? You have these every month and you should be used to them by now. I don't want to see you using a hot water bottle again. Those boys have to listen to you cry, think about them. Consider this your verbal warning. No more nonsense." And they left. I was gobsmacked. With a bit of digging, this is a verbal warning and my first offense, so I am going to talk with him and try to explain why it was not okay to single me out, and also a compromise should be registered so that I am trying to do my best. If it doesn't resolve, I will take it further.
I just got out of a job interview that blew my mind.
Update, rang to tell the guy. He has 4 kids. He told me that he worked 70-hour weeks, and 1 week only got paid for 40, 12-hour days. Fuck me, lads. He's been weeks in the job. The job advertised was for a deli manager in North Dublin. I don't drive, so I made sure the shop would be accessible by public transport before accepting the interview. It would be a 30-minute train. The area manager asked me to meet at a different location, South Dublin, for the interview. My husband took the morning off work to drive me, as it's not easy to get to by bus. The very first thing out of their mouth was, "So the job is actually at this store." We lied on the job listing. "We're firing the manager here but didn't want him to find out, so advertised that the job was for somewhere else." So I sat in the shop, doing an interview for the manager that was at the deli. The area manager told me not to speak to him, they haven't fired him yet. The job starts early, there are no trains or buses that would get me there on time, so I knew instantly I couldn't accept the job. The area manager also told me that they didn't have the budget to pay the salary advertised, year 15/H. I have 6 years of deli experience, another 2 as a manager, and I cannot find a decent job. Which is being made much harder with shite like this. I'd be tempted to find that poor manager on LinkedIn and give him a heads up.
Quit my data entry job because my boss wanted me to stand every time he entered the room. I forgot once and was almost fired. I'm not in the wrong, right?
I started working at a small business doing data entry a few weeks ago. I've talked here about how the pay was good and how good the benefits were. I really enjoyed the job and the environment. Around week 1, I met the owner. It was always stressed to me how important it is to cater to the owner, let's call him Mr. F, and I met while I was in a meeting with my supervisor. I greeted him, he greeted me back, and that was that. Later my supervisor called me into her office and said that Mr. F would like me to stand when he entered the room, as a sign of respect and knowing his place in the business. I said okay, sure. Sounds easy enough. I tell my coworker this and she gets a scared look on her face and tells me she didn't realize this was the new rule, so she would start standing also. I feel like her reaction has been the first red flag. Week 3 for me started Monday this week. The week was going well until Tuesday. I'm working in the front lobby and I see someone pull into Mr. F's parking spot. I'm completely alone in the building and nobody told me he was coming in today. I call my supervisor, who says he shouldn't be coming in, but as she's saying this and I'm on the phone with her, he walks in and walks past my desk. As I'm on the phone, I don't say anything to him, my first mistake. I smiled at him, but that wasn't nearly enough. This happened at 11 a.m. One of my coworkers gets back and I tell her what happened. She freaks out and says while I might not lose my job, this is a big deal. I get the first call from my supervisor, I get reprimanded. My coworker, who is his personal assistant, says that Mr. F told her if I don't greet him again, I'm gone. So he comes through the lobby again and I greet him. He leaves. I'm reprimanded again when my supervisor comes back in. Flash forward to 7 p.m., I get off work at 4. I get a call at home stating that what I did was so detrimental to the business that I need to not come in the next day to think about what I did. Unpaid, of course. I was livid, but it doesn't end there. Friday morning I come in after my unpaid day off, and I'm called into my supervisor's office. I get reprimanded again and then am told I'm getting written up for this incident and that it's a surprise I'm not getting let go for this. Mr. F's wife was also due to come in later that day to reprimand me also, as Mr. F does not do any of this himself. So, I tell my supervisor that I'm thankful for the opportunity but that this is insane, and I leave. I have never in my life heard of this before and I am still reeling from this terrible experience.
Got a call for an interview with a solar company. No days off, smiley face.
I just got off the phone with a company. They called me for an interview. They wanted to pay me $20 an hour to install solar panels, which is all cool. You get a company truck and a phone, all of that stuff. But when I asked her the hours, she said 20 hours OT per week mandatory. Then I asked for the days off. She said, oh, none. We are 7 days a week. You can request a day off if needed, but it's going to be very hard to grant that. LOL. Okay, lady, have a nice day. No wonder nobody wants to work for them. I'm not lazy, but damn, I have a life and a woman who I want to start a family with and not live at work and be absent from that. These companies expect you to give up your entire life for pocket change. I made $60K at my last job before COVID messed that up. I still was struggling at times. Rent was $2,500 alone in the city I was in at the time. I can't wait till America wakes up.
I signed an offer letter saying $20 per hour. They're saying it's a typo. What do I do?
Hi everyone. Please let me know if I should post this anywhere else. I have a master's degree in library science that I obtained in May. I've been looking for a librarian position since then. I still haven't found anything, though I've applied to many. I thought I would take a library associate job in the meantime. It's a paraprofessional role and doesn't require any degree. Initially, the manager told me it would pay $10 per hour, which is obviously horrific. I still went through with the interview and was offered the job verbally. I accepted, though I wasn't certain if I would go through with it. However, once I received my offer letter, it stated I would be paid $20 per hour. It's still low for a librarian, but I thought it was a huge step up, and I signed the document that I would accept this rate and take the job. I figured they took my degree into account and decided to pay me more appropriately. Yesterday, I received my first paycheck. It was half of what it was supposed to be. I asked the woman who hired me what's up, and she stated, "No, I was supposed to be paid that amount. I'm working for $10 per hour." I asked her how that was possible when I signed a document from HR stating I would be paid $20 per hour. Since then I spoke with her and HR, who both firmly deny I will be paid that amount, and insist it was a typo/error on their part. I don't really know what to do at this point. They really messed up, and I know they're aware of the fact. The HR woman said, "We can take this a step higher," and her boss was involved. I have no idea what to expect, except probably a lot of empty apologies, and corrective action will be taken. The easiest course would be to simply quit. I don't have a backup job though, and as garbage as the pay is, it's better than nothing. I need the experience in a library, and I get full-time hours here. What would you all do?